It's time again for another installment of The Basics, and on today's show, I'm going back into the Star Trek CCG because I want to answer some common questions I keep hearing in regards to outposts and star bases and headquarters and things like that. So without further ado, let me get right into answering these questions. Now, one of the most common questions out there in regards to outposts is the fact that a lot of affiliations also have headquarters that go with them. And there always seems to be confusion as to how headquarters are used. For example, your Federation outpost, which has a shields of 30, you seed one, or you can build it at any planet mission later if you have a Federation engineer present, thus giving you an extra outpost. It's very simple. How the headquarters works is like this. In the lore of the card, so if you see here, Office of the President, so this is obviously Earth, seeds or plays on Earth. Now that means any mission that says Earth, so that would be a couple of them that have that in their lore. And once per turn, one Federation ambassador, admiral, vice admiral, or president, or one HQ card may play for free here. That is what the headquarters do. You can download and add personnel straight to that headquarters, and it gives you somewhat of an advantage, but it has to be at the home world for that particular affiliation. Two other examples would be Klingon. If you're building the Great Hall, it has to be on a mission that says Kronos, which is the Klingon homeworld. If you're playing Romulan, the headquarters has to be built on Romulus, if that's in the lore of the mission. Other affiliations have these as well, and you have to go by what the card says before you can use it as such. You need to have the mission that is the home world of the affiliation in order to use the headquarters. Moving right along, one of the bigger questions that I get from time to time is about the Huznok outpost, which of course is non-aligned. I really like the Huznok outpost, and I've used it here and there in decks that either contain non-aligned or a straight non-aligned deck. One of the main reasons is for an outpost, shields of 40, that's pretty damn good on any outpost. Basically seed at any non-aligned mission location. You may seed one Universal Huznok ship face up here. Extends only 25% of its shields to ships, that being the station. It has advantages whether or not you're using a full-on non-aligned deck or a deck that contains non-aligned. A Huznok ship is a very powerful ship, and to be able to see that there and use it when you have the outpost in service is of great help. And the 40 shields, as I mentioned, they don't hurt. Then you have neutral outposts, like the neutral outpost itself with the shields of 24. Seed one at any space location, or build later at a space location where any engineering present. No repairs here. Now, one of the questions I get is, why can't I build it at a planet location? Because seed one at any space location. Space location. It says right on the card. That's also why they came up with ground stations with the neutral icon, like terraforming station. You can see those on a planet and use that as a outpost. Empok Nor, it's another one of those flip cards, much like DS9 Terok Nor, which is not pictured because I've already done episodes on that. As it stands, you seed it during the mission phase at a universal mission. Face up like this with the station rotated means it's uncontrolled. No reporting aboard. Once no dilemmas remain, any player may commandeer, then flip over. Weapon 0, shield 16. Depending on who commandeers it, when first flipped, each player may download to station any number of different compatible site and equipment cards. Normal reporting now allowed, not duplicatable. Weapons 6, shields 34. You can download any of the site cards you'd use on a regular NOR or Deep Space Nine, any equipment card you want. It has its advantages. I'm not a big fan of this card because when it is seeded and when it's available, you have both players going after it. If you have a 3-player game, it's even worse. Borg Outpost, I don't understand why I keep getting questions on this, but I will answer it again. It has a Delta Quadrant icon. You can only build this and seed this in the Delta Quadrant unless you are at a mission where you've assimilated the planet and have a Borg engineer present. Then you can build it in another quadrant because you have assimilated that planet and taken it over, and it's yours. And the final question deals with these Dominion bases, and I've been asked what the difference is. This one's very simple. The remote supply depot has no other icon other than the expansion icon of the Dominion. You can build this pretty much anywhere. Shields of 30. Primarily in the Alpha Quadrant where you have a Dominion engineer. The primary supply depot has the Gamma Quadrant icon. You can only build this in the Gamma Quadrant at a non-homeworld mission. That's it. Very simple. Hopefully I've alleviated some issues and answered questions regarding these outposts. Now, that being said, it's up to the individual player when you're building your deck if you want to use headquarters with your main affiliation, or if you want to use extra neutral star bases and stations, or switch it up with your Husnock depending on non-aligned or not non-aligned or partial non-aligned. It's really up to you. I also, if you go back and look at some of my previous episodes, I've discussed this in greater lengths in regards to what to use with what deck. That's all for today. Have a great day, everybody.